Welcome to DarkLit Diaries. Tonight, we return to a place lost to memory. This is the mirrors in Wren Hollow. When we found the old map tucked into the library archives, it didn't even have a name on it, just a mark. A place where a town once stood buried after the 1972 quake. Theo called it a ghost town hunt. Hannah packed the cameras. Maya, our sound tech, brought a dozen battery packs and a bad feeling she couldn't shake. Me? I just wanted proof that something could disappear and still leave a scar. We drove 5 hours north through winding hills and abandoned back roads. By the time the sun dipped low, trees blotted out the sky. When we hit the cracked, overgrown bridge, the sign finally came into view. Welcome to Wren Hollow Est, 1843. It was the only thing left standing straight. Wren Hollow looked like it had been flash frozen in time. Collapsed houses, rusted street lamps, a gas station eaten by vines. The air was wrong. Heavy. Still. It wasn't the decay that bothered me. It was the feeling that something was waiting. We unpacked near what used to be the town square, a cracked fountain filled with dead leaves. Theo filmed wide shots. Hannah documented street names. Maya wandered off with her boom mic chasing whispers we couldn't hear. And then we found the mirrors. The first was inside the old barbershop. A wall-to-wall mirror untouched by dust. Pristine. Theo joked it must have been a miracle. Hannah filmed it with a laugh. But when I stood in front of it, I didn't laugh. My reflection didn't either. It stared back at me, perfectly still, even when I shifted my weight. For a moment, just a heartbeat, it felt like I was the reflection. And the thing on the other side was real. We camped that night in the old courthouse. 4 sleeping bags spread across cracked marble floors. The mirrors we found, 2 more in different buildings, seemed to hum in the dark. Not audibly, but the air around them thrummed, almost like breathing. Maya couldn't sleep. Kept muttering about footsteps outside the building. But when Theo and I checked, there was nothing. Just our reflections in the courthouse windows. Smiling too wide. Eyes a little too bright. Watching us. The thing about Wren Hollow was, once you stepped inside, you were never really alone again. Even when the town seemed empty. Morning came like it was forced through a filter, gray, pale, and cold. We packed our gear and started filming again, but no one mentioned how little sleep we'd gotten, or the shadows that had lingered too long across the mirrors. Theo joked, trying to break the silence, but his reflection in the diner window didn't laugh with him. It watched, still, smiling. Hannah called us over to the pharmacy on Main Street. Inside, mirrors lined the back wall, warped and old, like carnival glass. But as we stood there, something shifted. Theo's reflection stepped forward, while Theo stayed still. Just for a second. I blinked and it was gone. Normal again. Theo hadn't even noticed. But Hannah saw it too. She backed away so fast, she knocked over a rack of dusty medicine bottles. We didn't talk about it. We just kept moving. The next morning, Hannah was gone. Her sleeping bag was neatly folded. Her boots gone. Her camera left behind. Theo swore he'd seen her outside at sunrise, standing by the fountain, waving. But when we ran outside, the square was empty. All that remained was a trail of footprints in the frost leading straight toward the old church, and stopping, mid-stride, like she had just disappeared. Inside the church, the altar was gone. In its place was a mirror tall, cracked, framed by rotting wood beams, and standing inside it was Hannah, or something that wore her face. She waved to us again, slow, mocking. Theo reached for the glass. I pulled him back, because in that moment I realized Hannah wasn't outside anymore. She was trapped behind the mirror, and something else had stepped into our world in her place. We weren't just documenting Wren Hollow anymore. We were part of it, and the town wasn't going to let us leave. Theo was the first to change. At first, it was little things. His voice sounding flatter. His laughter coming half a second too late. The way he wouldn't meet our eyes anymore. But the mirror reflections always would. The real Theo wouldn't have asked me to stay longer. Wouldn't have insisted we hadn't filmed enough yet. And when I caught him staring at the cracked church mirror, lips moving silently, I knew it wasn't Theo anymore. Maya was next. I woke up to find her sleeping bag empty, her boots lined up perfectly at the courthouse door. The only thing she left behind was her boom mic, lying next to a shattered piece of mirror glass. In the broken shard, her reflection still slept peacefully, smiling. I didn't even have time to scream, because behind me, in the long cracked windows, Theo's reflection moved without him. I ran, through the empty square, past the gas station where pumps still dripped oil onto cracked pavement, past the pharmacy where my own reflection still waved at me from behind the glass. The town pulsed around me, mirrors reflecting impossible scenes. Me drowning, me burning, me smiling a smile too wide for any human face. I didn't stop. I couldn't, because if I did, they would catch me, replace me. I found the heart of Wren Hollow the fountain. Once it had been filled with water and coins. Now it was filled with mirror shards, pieces humming with low, living sound. At the center stood the biggest mirror I'd ever seen, tall as a house, rippling like water, and inside it, hundreds of faces, all versions of me, all smiling, all beckoning. I had two choices: step into the mirror willingly, or break it and risk whatever was trapped inside. I picked up a chunk of rusted rebar and swung. The glass shattered, screaming like 1,000 mouths opening at once. The faces collapsed, pulling the town into itself. Houses crumbling, windows shattering inward, the ground splitting apart. I ran. I didn't look back. I didn't want to see what was crawling out of the fountain behind me. I don't remember crossing the bridge. I don't remember the drive home. All I know is I'm back now, safe, normal. But sometimes, when I pass a mirror at night, I see something move behind me. Not my reflection. Not anymore. And every day, I feel a little less